To understand why I'm a Buddhist is, I think I may have been kind of coming on this journey for rather a long time, but I wasn't really aware that I was. And I'd only say in the last couple of years I can say I'm a Buddhist. I couldn't have said that before, yet I know I've been on this journey. I've come in contact with Buddhism a couple of times when I was quite young. I mean, I studied as part of university. I was studying Asian studies and looked at Buddhism, but it didn't really speak to me at all. I wasn't really interested in any kind of philosophy, particularly for myself. And I've a sister who's been a Buddhist for 30 years, so it was sort of there, but it just didn't really sort of mean anything to me. And it really was through meditation. I have a friend who is really involved in Hatha Yoga, and she gave me this tape. And she just left it at my house and said, maybe this would be of interest. It was a meditation which is called Chittakash-dharana, a guided meditation. Chittakash-dharana is where you do this sort of triangular breathing and you focus on this part, so the top here in your forehead. I did that because of my circumstances. I just did it every day for years until the tape literally went out. And then one day I thought, I think I need a teacher, because I think it's a really good idea just to do this practice, so continually. And extraordinarily, I mean, I did go on a little bit of a journey, and I did the Vipassana, the 10-day meditation, and that was really fantastic, but it just didn't seem to kind of mean anything. There was no sort of explanation of anything really other than just doing this practice in silence, which was terrific. But it was my daughter too who brought me here, and when she was in London, she was living in the East End where a lot of her extended family live, and they're a dramatic family, and so she found the London Buddhist Centre and would just drop in there at lunchtimes, and just found it really, really lovely, and the people were really sweet and just gave her this kind of bit of space. And when I started to say I need a teacher, she said, well, I think there's one like the London Buddhist Centre in Melbourne. So that's how I actually ended up coming here. And I came because I wanted to learn more about meditation. So it's just meditation that I was interested in. But I did find that people were they were very kindly. And I started particularly talking to Charanatra, and not Charanatra, Dhiracharita. And Dhiracharita was studying with someone else a book. It was a book called Living with Kindness. And so I just joined their group. And we just studied this book. We studied it for a year. It was an extraordinary experience, really going deep and thinking about, what is it to be kind, and just really, really exploring it. And we learnt the sutta, and, so I had no real interest in Buddhism at all, I didn't think, but in fact, I'd have to say that throughout my life, I've always known the answers are within. Been a really strong sense. I've never believed in God, and I just have always wanted to live a simple life. So I was always coming this way, but I didn't know that I was coming this way. And so learning the Dharma was sort of like, whoa, it was just extraordinary. And so it was the teachings that really caught me. I mean, the meditation practice, I was already really committed to meditation, that was the Dharma. And then the thing for me that's been really interesting is this starting to develop some sort of relationship with an understanding of the extraordinary gift that the Buddha gave to us in bringing us the Dharma. So for me, Triratna and the three jewels are really important. So the Buddha, the Sangha, and the Dharma, and that's become a little bit more balanced. But I think what's happened is just through this process of meditation and developing spiritual friendship, which is one of the things that I think is really fantastic about Triratna, that you can develop friendships with people which are there really to support you in your journey, and that's just great. And I think that really is something extraordinary. I love the notion of the true individual. There's no must, you have to. It's about being true to yourself and your deeper sense of what's right, and expressing that. I just do think that's a really wonderful aspect of Triratna, the notion of the true individual. And I believe as a Buddhist that I have, it's both an internal journey but it's an external journey too. And I do have a responsibility to do the best that I can in this world. So it is, and I think Sangharakshita in his wisdom has really, he embraces that notion that we have a responsibility more broadly. It's not just about our own personal journey, and that for me is really important. So that, and I think particularly now at this time, that if we're really going to be true to the precepts, we've got this responsibility which is broader than just our own journey. So that's why I think that, and Buddhism just makes sense. It makes sense at this level, at the heart level. It makes sense intellectually. And one of the things I find so exciting is that as, you sort of hear about quantum physics and you hear about all these really sort of interesting areas of science and psychology, and so much of it you can see there in the Dharma. So it's a very deep wisdom, and it's transformative, and I've seen people transform before my eyes in the time that I've been involved in the Melbourne Buddhist Centre. That is so exciting to see, and I know that there's change for me. I mean, I know that I've changed, so it's been a slow burn for me personally, I have to say. It took me a while to get here, but I've been on the way for quite some time, I think. So yeah, what can I say? It actually makes sense. And from here, with that sort of, and as I go along, I think that deep faith, that sort of, it just keeps growing, because this kind of knowledge that, it actually is. I can't see another way in which I can't believe in external God, and I just think this is the way that we can transform, and this is the way that we can live a good life and be good to one another, and as I said, it really does make deep sense. So yeah, that's why I'm a Buddhist.